Again, this is a Prophecy here on Israel National Radio Route Sheva, and the show is syndicated as Messiah Hour on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in Messiah Hour with Ari Louis and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is free to do so. We're continuing the conversation with Drora Bat Melech, who is talking about the one-state solution. I want to know, Israeli politicians, what are their feelings on the matter? Talk about some of the big players of who's in favor of one-state solution, who's in favor of two-state solutions.
All right. Well, when we work with a nonprofit of the One State for Israel, we kind of look through the whole entire gamut of programs that everyone offers. And obviously, we have the left offering two-state solutions, mostly saying that there should be an independent Palestinian state in the, what we call A, B, and C areas. Which will have the borderline, will make our borderline with what we call from Hadera to Gadara area very narrow, and then we'll have a very, very strategically dangerous situation if that happens. Because if you assume that this is a peaceful state, then you're good. I mean, you don't need so much defensive areas, but if we are going by what we see and the historical abilities of what Hamas and Hezbollah and Muslim Brotherhood and now Daesh, ISIS is planning, we can't go naive to this situation. So this is one side that has a lot of problematic issues. And I understand, yes, they get separation from what they call the Arabs, but there's never a real separation because we know that we want to be able to hire people and they work and they come in. So the influx and the influence is going to be there. It's just the ability to separate and to have a territorial safety net is not going to be there. So then you have what some people suggest, and it doesn't matter which groups because they kind of float. I hear this one going for that or that one, but that is the exchanging of areas. So we get like more whole, like Al-Sachem and all the areas that are Arabic that kind of get into our area will be swapped for areas in Judea and Samaria, and then so thus creating some sort of a more nice straight line of a border. It doesn't solve the problem that strategically the whole entire mountain region is a safety net, besides the fact that it's supporting, us in all kinds of, defense way, but it's also creating a barrier between us and whoever lives in the shoreline, which is lower and everything. If you ever sit on in Ariel, any of the, like Neve Daniel, in Gush Etzion, if you sit there, you could see in a nice, clear day all the way to the beach. Now, you don't need nuclear power to really hurt Israel. We're talking about cannons from Napoleon time that will work pretty much the same way to just hurt us and cause damage to population. Now, what do you do against it? Technologically, we did something during the war with Gaza. Did it help us, protect us entirely, seal us? No. It is not a good, sane way to behave or to think that somebody, a lot of people don't like this analysis or this type of thing, but if you have sort of a wild, person and they're doing things on a constant basis, is it clearly sane to think that the next day after you sign up an agreement with them, they're going to change? They're going to be peaceful, lambish, wonderful, grass-eating, goats or cows. I mean, it's just absurd. You have somebody who behaves in a certain way and is very consistent. We haven't seen a leader, an Arab leader, that shows us or gives us the feeling, or even in action, of course, that, listen, we sign up a contract, we sign up an agreement, and I am going to make sure that this is going to be followed up. And there's nobody. There's absolutely no leader like that.
All right, so my question is, if there's no leader like that, do we have one coming, or what are we going to do if we don't have a leader like that?
All right, that's a very good question, because if we want to have peaceful coexistence, we have to think, what are our options? One option is to say, well, look, I mean, everybody thinks it's the right way, and this is what I'm feeling is happening right now. There's some sort of like resigning to the fact that there's no other solution. But there is a good solution that we can do. And what we propose is something that makes sense. We're proposing to have the one state for Israel solution is basically sovereignty and Israeli law that we know that works, that guarantees everybody's rights, all the way from the Jordan River to the sea. And what I mean by Mediterranean Sea. That type of coverage gives us the borders that we can defend, security-wise, and it also allows the Arab and all the other minorities that live in Israel the security to be under governance of and dominion of the people that they know. I mean, the only place in the Middle East that you have pluralism of faith is in Israel. Go to Jordan, go to Syria, go to any other country, Christians and any other faiths are being killed for their religion. There is no pluralism of thought. There's no pluralism of faith. And to think that by having another state that is exactly a duplicate of Jordan, Syria, Iraq next to us is not going to be exactly the same like them is absurd. So we are proposing, once this law is established, we're not proposing any movement of anybody. Whoever is an Arab stays where they are. Whoever is a Jew stays where they are. And what we do agree to is having some sort of a election that is a local election. Their legal status of the Arabs will be a foreign citizen, foreign alien citizen, and similar to what we have in America in the territories. A lot of people tell me, oh my gosh, this sounds like an absolute apartheid state. Well, it's not. Most people are not aware of the fact that in Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, any other territories, the status of the people is, yes, they have a citizenship, but it's limited. And it's limited to voting for their own government entities. So if you're a Puerto Rican or live in Virgin Islands or Guam, you vote for your own area members. You can't vote for Congress or for Senate. And that is a solution that solves the issue of those people in Israel, if you want to call them the left or the center. They're worried about demography issue, or what they call tzivion, which called the character of the Israeli future, moving from being Jewish mainly and having the Jewish traditions and everything to some sort of a combo that is like more all like United States, that is multiple types of religions and stuff. So that solves that. So the people that want in the right, they want to have the ancestral land of Judea and Samaria, all our areas that are really holy, Shiloh, Jerusalem, everything that is dear to us, saved and ours, it's there. You have that. And the Arabs that live have the ability to work, we have to have some sort of solutions similar to what other countries have. Like in the United States, when you have a foreign national, you cannot move from being on a green card to having citizenship unless you show that you're not a threat, okay? So I think it's important, especially when we have big percentages in the Arab community that declare that they are, how would I say, don't like, to be with Jews, but a lot of them want to work, want to participate in some sort of a relationship with Jews. I think it's important to have that type of stage that enables them to work only, and I must declare, people that have no prior record of trying to hurt people, no, what we call, they're not dangerous. And you could see it, like if you have a prior record, it's written in the Shabak or in records that those people cannot get into Israel. We should have clear and definite rules how to, establish a relationship with people that have prior records. We cannot put our population in harm's way. So what we are suggesting is to have the system which Professor Kedar stated as that the Arabs always worked via tribes. You don't have really entity of a state in the Arab, in general, okay? You have tribal entities. You have a sheikh, you have leaders that are very strong, and usually it's connected by family. And you could do the same in Israel. You could have the what they call like you have in Switzerland, cantons, areas that are tribal based. The canton of Hebron, where you have like the leader, the sheikh, controlling it and being responsible. People can vote for whatever system they want. This is a little bit more the little details that could be established together with them. But you cannot take away the power of Israeli sovereignty from these areas because there's no vacuum. You're not living in a status. You have to, if you are not having Israeli law and dominion on Judea and Samaria, that means the Hamas, ISIS, the Muslim Brotherhood, Hezbollah, all these forces come in. We see it in Gaza clearly. We saw the establishment of really very strong anti-Israel type of environment. They built, instead of using the cement and all the materials that Israel so kindly provided them to build schools and hospitals and things that would promote their welfare, they took that and built tunnels in order to get to our kibbutzim, in order to get to our southern cities and cause harm. We could see it clearly in the past. It says the history is really supposed to teach us about the future. And so we should take what we see in the past and apply it wisely to the future.
All right. Now, you mentioned earlier in the program that when there are different speakers speaking in Arabic, they are saying one thing, but they tell the people they are saying something else. Now, again, you are fluent in Arabic, so you know what's going on. Why would they lie about that? Don't they know they would be caught because the video of the original language of Arabic that they're speaking is there? So why even make that up?
That's a good question, too. Well, the truth is there is... you could have seen that a lot in like, they established, for instance, you have Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera is mainly in foreign languages. So they beautifully wrap, yes, but they want peace and a peaceful coexistence, da-da-da-da-da. And then you go to the, you go to like the books that they established for all their educational system. I was involved with this a little bit, with seeing it at the Knesset. They had a very interesting diplomats that were shown all the Palestinian educational system for kids. You open a book, okay, that is published or sponsored by their education ministry, and it's all about how, like, Jews are what they call Ziyab, which is wolves, or Chanazir, which is pigs, or Kurda, which is monkeys, and you're just like, you think you just went back in time to the Middle Ages. And it's the official books. I mean, I challenge anybody in the left and the right to go buy. There is like, it's free. Go to East Jerusalem, go to a bookstore, buy, pay somebody who is an Arab to buy the books and look at them. Open them up. Open the books that their children study by and look at it. Look at it and read it, because it's very clear. I say always, the way you teach the next generation is what determines the attitude of the adults. So if we, as a nation, teach our kids that we want peace, and we really do, because you can see the left is they're not bad people, they're very good people. I was a leftist. I grew up as a left. I grew up as a Meretz person. I grew up in North Tel Aviv as a Meretz person. It took me years of denying this fact. Those are facts. You cannot, put them aside and says they're not relevant. Those are facts. Fact is, the Palestinian Authority books that are being used for the children in their system are anti-Semitic. They are promoting hate. They're promoting incitement. They're promoting degradations of Jews. And they basically, when you ask a person, or unfortunately a kid, in the school system, and you go and ask him, where is Israel? What are Israelis? He almost automatically answers with quotes from those books. If you ask them to show a map of Palestine, what kind of a map would you see? Would you see a two-state plan map? No. You would see a map, and you'll ask him, where is this? And you will point to Haifa, and he'll say, yeah, that's Haifa. It's an Arab state. It's an Arab city. Or if you point to Tel Aviv, he'll say, oh, that's Jaffa.
All right, last question we have for you before we let you go. I know you're doing a lot of great work with the 613 group. Tell our audience about it. How can they get involved? What website they can go to? All that good stuff.
Okay, that'll be a pleasure. Our nonprofit is called the One State for Israel. It's available on Facebook right now and as a group. We're really, really in our initial stages, and basically we have done several, lectures and informational for people, mainly in Hebrew, obviously, but we would love to do it also in English. We want people to just go and understand. They can contact me through those pages that I mentioned, the One State for Israel on Facebook, and basically sign up, ask me questions. They can send me a private question. We want to create a grassroots type of similar, and I don't want to say that they're anything to be the same, like the One Voice and everything, but coming from the people that really want to coexist with the Arabs on the premise of law, okay? Because I don't see law and freedom in the Palestinian Authority. Any book that you take, that deals with what's happening right now in the Palestinian Authority can see there's no freedom there. So we call everybody, if you really want to coexist, and we have, we have Mandy Safadi, who was the aide to M.K. Kara as one of the members of the NPO. We have Professor Kedar. We have Dov Vettelmacher, who is the head, who initiated all this concept. He's an amazing inventor and of an energy company who is supporting this whole work that we're doing. And then we have also Rafa Abu Tarif, who's been working for the army. Is an amazing Druze person who is just and me. Obviously, we are such an interesting combo. We have Druze. We have me coming from Gush Etzion, and then religious. I would term myself as a religious person. And then we have Dov Vettelmacher, who's totally secular. We have Professor Kedar, who's what you call Masorti Dati, traditional observant Jew. We have really here, we have a woman, guys. Really, this is what the state of Israel should look like. We have a few, and I have to say, once we get them, they'll be nice, but we have a few traditional Zionist Arabs that are interested, because seriously, they can see the difference between being under Israeli law and dominion and being under Jordan, Syria, or Iraq dominion. But that's the exact dominion that right now is in the Palestinian Authority areas. It's a very bad type of ruling. There's no freedom of press. There's no freedom for women. And obviously they want to show how they're so pluralistic, in the left. Look at the freedom for gays, freedom to worship. Where is that freedom? There is none. You want freedom, has to be under Israeli law, not any other law, because it's not happening.
All right. Well, we certainly appreciate the time and all the great information that you gave to us. The podcast of the show, of course, is available on YouTube, Messiah Hour. You can type that into YouTube, Messiah Hour with Ari Louis, and email me, messiahhour@gmail.com, to check out a podcast of this episode. Drora, thank you so much. Be well. We'll speak with you soon.
Thank you very much, Ari. Thank you for having us, and have a great day.
You too. Be well.